It says I'm live. Well, good. Have me a drink of some high pH water. Some good stuff. Howdy, howdy, howdy. Trying to get this thing fixed where it'll do a little better here for me. There we go. Hello, hello, hello. Hi there. I'm going to give it just a little bit of time here. Let a few people get in. Do, 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 do. Hey, give me a like, a share, and subscribe. Okay, here's the story. In the next 48 hours, approximately, give or take a little bit, um, I'll be leaving and headed to Texas. I'm meeting with various auditors at various locations in Texas to do audits. I'm not going to spoil the surprise of saying where I'm going and what auditors I'll be. Uh, hey, y'all. Where I'll be going, who I'll be auditing with. Some people you probably don't know, never heard of. Some you know. So it'll be a mixture. So I'll be traveling all through Northeast Texas, South Texas, uh, uh, probably, I guess it would be Southwest Texas. Anyway, guess what? I saved up my pennies, nickels, and dimes, so I got enough money for my gas, motels, and food to do what I plan on doing. Now, up and above and beyond what I plan to do, if you can help out with $5, $20, $50, whatever, a dollar, I'd greatly appreciate it. And it goes towards the audits. And I will do some live videos on the road headed there so y'all can see me getting some gas. So I can tell you where I'm at along the way. So I'll probably do a couple of videos, maybe three or four along the way headed to Texas. Now, I've just been waiting for somebody to say, "You going to audit with Patrick?" No, 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 no. I've had to seek a lot of medical assistance and do a lot of physical therapy to get back, uh, I'm not back to me. Uh, that may never happen. I don't know. I was pretty seriously injured, so uh, I can stand and walk around now, not for an hour, but for periods of time. Uh, Still here in the DFW area. That might be one of the places I go. uh, if I tell you that I'm in a certain area, it's going to have to kind of be a last minute thing because guess what? If the police, the city clerks, post offices, private corporations from the public viewpoint, uh, if they know I'm coming, then they kind of brace up and prepare. So to me, it really ain't smart to say exactly where I'm going for my own safety and the safety of auditors that I'll be working with. So I believe I've got 7 people currently I'm going to audit with at different places and different times. Uh, and they kind of said, hey, let's let it be a secret. So when we go on, they'll be like, wow, all right, he's going these places. There's other places I want to go and extend the trip from 2 to 3 days to about a week. So, I can, Texas is a big place, so guessing where I'm going, wow. But I really do. Hey, now I do have some places lined out that are in close proximity. So when I get there, I can get my motel and go to several different places, maybe nearby. Uh, and if that's good enough for you all, hey, okay, great, fantastic. You know, if you say, hey, I want you to go more places, I want you to do this, that, or the next things, then that's going to take some more gas and more food and more motels than I have money for. So if you're good with what Chief gives you, okie dokie, there's no questions, no concerns. And of course nobody has to donate. I get it. But Jason, is it Jason Pullum? I think that's his name, but I know it's Pullum. Uh, I donated today to his cause to get that like 14,000 page report over there on Espinosa, that chief of police that resigned, I guess in lieu of getting fired, and his son, was a lieutenant, was sexually harassing people, and they were hooking people up and treating females bad and all that sort of thing. Anyway, I support him and put my $20 in. Hey, if I had 50 or 100, I'd have gave it to the man. He's doing dang good work. I'd like to meet with him. Uh, maybe that'll happen. Maybe it won't. Who knows? But if you do have an extra dollar or two, or an extra 20 or 50, I would greatly appreciate it, because I do have more people in more places in Texas that want to do some audits. I got another guy in Alabama that's 3 or 4 hours away from me that's been begging me to do audits in that area. I've got a guy over in Mississippi that wants to do some audits. Uh, it's been almost a year ago, but somebody was asking me in Louisiana. Well, I can uh, I can go one path and go one way to where I want to go, but if money flows in, it's actually better for me to go another direction and hit these other places along the way, then circle back to where I was originally going to go, and then, depending on money, maybe go other places. So I can stay out there for an entire week. And yes, I'll be up at 6 or 7 in the morning so that I can get a full day in from 8 to 5. I may have to do it in 30-minute increments, an hour increment, take a break, go somewhere else and do it because of the injuries. Y'all know the deal. My injuries won't allow me to do the whole Monty, where I used to could stand and walk around for 1 or 2 or 3 hours at a time. Hey, give me a like. Give me a share. Excuse me. My sinuses have been giving me problems today. But I love y'all. I thank you for your support. I thank you for sharing my channel, subscribing to my channel, etc. I'm going to try and bring what I call new knowledge or refreshed knowledge every time I do a video. I might forget. If I do, you'll have to tell me and I have to think on the fly. But here's something in the law that y'all would be interested in. Look it up for yourself. You have a nautical mile, the distance, a nautical mile. You have an air mile. You have a statutory mile. And and you have a common law mile. So there's 4 different miles that I know about. So if you're going 30 miles an hour, is that a nautical mile, a statute mile, an air mile, a common law mile? Just food for thought. So in the law, they got a lot of words for the same thing. So if somebody asks you how fast you was going, how many miles an hour, you could say nautical miles, statutory miles, air miles, uh, common law miles. What is it? I'm going to throw in something else. Every time the police arrest you and you go to arraignment, this is something that you could do. I'm not advising you to do it because I'm not an attorney. But it's something a lot of people have done, and it seems to work really, really good. When they ask you, what do you plea? You tell them, I plea in abatement. Look up abatement. You're not pleading guilty, and you're not pleading innocent. You are challenging the system of due process, and there's so many flaws in the process. Some people say, oh, that's a loophole. Call it what you want to. The law is the law. So the statute that they arrest you under is a copyrighted statute. The law book, it's copywritten. So you take any law in there, you go back to your state archives and look at the actual organic law that was passed and the governor signed into law. Okay, the Secretary of State should have a copy of those. The legislature should have a copy of those. Anyway, go back and take the actual paperwork. Look at the paperwork. Read what it says. Take the copyrighted law and set it beside it. Okay? Read word for word what they say. And where the words are different, circle them. Go into a legal dictionary and see what's the meaning of the words the legislature passed versus the words that are in the copywritten law. When you use a copyright, you have to have the people's permission to use the copyright, or you're in copyright infringement. So the police departments and law enforcement do not pay copyright fees, but they're using copyrighted law, which is different than the organic original law. So there's another abatement issue. I'm trying to tell you things that might help you out. You'll have to decide yes or no or how to go about it, because I'm not a lawyer. I don't give legal advice. I give spiritual advice. I give life advice. I give stories and things that's happened in my life. So if you choose to use anything I say, that's your prerogative. If you don't, that's your prerogative. Welcome to America. We got a First Amendment, we got a Second Amendment, on and on and on. So if you was a smart man or woman, in my opinion, if you haven't already, at least do yourself a favor and read the first 10 amendments to the Constitution. Read them real slow, word for word. Think about what that meant in 1775, 1776, etc. Go look at the Declaration of Independence and see what it says and circle some buzzwords. Look up those words in the dictionary of those days. Okay? Webster's Noah Dictionary 1828 is a good one to look in. American Jurisprudence is a good book, second edition. Bouvier's Law Dictionary, I believe it's 1856, is a good one. There is Black's Law, different Black's Law Dictionary 2nd and 5th are my favorites. And go and look at what the words say. So hypothetically, say a cop decide he's going to write me a ticket. Okay, well, I'm going to give him an autograph, not a signature. And they have different meanings. So I'm going to write on their autograph above my name. I'm going to make my reservation of rights. And then I'm going to give him an autograph like a movie star. Then when it comes time to go to court, I'm going to say, as you can see, this is autographed. There is no signature because I don't have informed consent. I don't have informed knowledge. There is a multitude of adhesions contracts that you haven't disclosed that I have found out about. So that's government putting out false records and lack of good effective communication and people, quote, signing. You can't sign until you have knowledge, informed consent, and a free will. Well, if the state tells you you are forced to do this or you will go to jail for exercising your right, that's not informed free will consent. So that's one contestment. Number two, the police officer, if he is the complainant, he can't serve his own complaint, so he has to have a disinterested third party. So unless he's carrying somebody around in his car that wants to be Mr. or Miss Good Citizen to hand you the citation, that is an abatement also. And there's numerous other abatements, whether they're using the court seal, a judicial court seal, or they're using an administrative seal on the paperwork. And it's the clerk using the clerk's administrative seal or their judicial position seal. And they do have more than one seal. They they don't tell people that unless you're an attorney or somebody very versed in the law, you know. So what I'm telling you is, be smart. Do your research. Whatever you do, you're doing it at your own peril for the good, the bad, or the indifferent. So two men could go into the same court, on different days, have the same issues and have the same objections. One of them could go to jail. One of them could get his case dismissed and he go home. So you say, how does that happen? The one that did his most homework or her most homework and really studied it and put together a strategy, they're usually the ones that win. And if they don't win, if they have enough points of law that they're objecting to it based on these points of law, case history, copyright law versus the actual law they passed, makes a huge difference. I've seen a lot of people win. But you gotta study it. You gotta be ready. Hey, is that no name? Hey there. Anyway, you have to study to show yourself approved. You don't go play baseball or football until you know all the rules. At least I wouldn't. You don't play pool or tennis or whatever till you know the rules. The more you know the rules and the deeper you dig and get to the history of the actual game, whatever it is, you know, uh, it's on you. I really ain't nothing else I can say. Those that do the best in study, do the best in court, do the best with the police on the side of the road. And remember, you're probably not going to win with a police officer at your window or your front door. I'm not saying turn into jelly, but I'm saying within reason, limited cooperation that is absolutely required by law, that you feel is required by law, you do that and don't talk. Exercise your right of silence, because everything you say can, and will be used against you in court. And the way they interpret what you say will be used. So if they even say, where you coming from? And you say, I don't want to talk about that. Then in court they could say, well, we had reason to believe he was coming from so and so, and we questioned him. He said he wasn't going to tell where he come from. He seemed suspicious. Really? If you say no comment, or you say, I plead the fifth, and you just give them your driver's license, registration, insurance, which is usually what they want, and you give it to them, and then you put on your reservations, and you write autograph, and you put your autograph on there versus a signature and claim that, they have a defective instrument. You haven't promised to do anything. Now, I would show up in court and defend your actions in court and, talk about commercial drivers who do have to have license. That's a fact, versus private citizens that do not have to have license. Now, people's been duped into believing that. But see, I actually have a CDL license. So when I have been stopped, I say, I do not have a license for my personal, private movement privileges or rights. I can move any way I see fit. On roller skates, a skateboard, a car, truck, motorcycle, it doesn't matter. I don't have a vehicle. And y'all have control of vehicles, not automobiles. And I'm not in commerce. I'm not doing anything for hire. And you can't use my CDL license since I'm in my private capacity. But if you make demand to see it, I'll present it, but I'm going to go to court and tell them that I was not in commercial capacity. So guess what? I got a bunch of officers scratching their head saying, what in the world is he talking about? And then they usually get to talking, I explain it to them, and usually I get to drive off. No ticket, no nothing. I have got a ticket, and I went to the judge and explained to the judge and got it dismissed. That might work for you. It might not. So if you get in trouble and say, well, Chief told me I could do this, yep, you can. Or you cannot. It's up to you. Take what I say with a grain of salt. You sift through there. You find the grains that you feel are good and appropriate for you. Think about it. Think about it. And think about it. You might want to talk to an attorney. You might want to talk to a judge. You might want to do a lot of things. But for everybody that come in late, in 48 hours or less, maybe a little more, right in that point, I'm leaving to go to Texas. I have the money for gas. I have the money for motels. Have the money to eat. Believe it or not, I actually eat. I usually eat pretty healthy, as a matter of fact. But, and I don't splurge and go to high dollar hotels. And I don't eat shrimp and steak and all that. I try and eat simple, basic meals. I don't drive really fast and burn through my fuel fast. I steward what I have really well. So I have enough money to go do what I want to do to help the community and to rightly and justly educate our public servants. And I won't do anything to go to jail. So if they put me in jail, then that's going to be on them. I ain't looking for no payday. I'm able to pay all my bills. I do everything right. I have everything to lose. What do I have to gain? Because if the people and their servants work in their proper places as a master and a servant, then we're all good. And then I'll be able to shut down my channel if the police act right and government officials act right and the people become informed and make intelligent decisions. I won't have Oh, he says, why Texas though? Well, as you know, I know a good bit of auditors in Texas. And certain auditors have been asking me for over 3 months, hey, come do an audit with me or do an audit with us. And they're scattered all over the different places in Texas. So I chose the place that I thought I had my best chance to meet with at least 3 or 4 different auditors in a certain given time. So I think that auditing with some different auditors gives me additional experience. It puts on different flavors, etc., etc. So, uh, by not saying what city or what counties I'm going to, that safeguards me, those auditors, and we get to make the surprise Bo Dinkle on that law enforcement agency, that city hall, that post office, that uh, private or public business from the public right of way. Uh, you know, so along the way, I will do a couple of these live videos and tell you here's where I'm at, and maybe I'll be out somewhere pumping gas so y'all can see me pumping gas. And I tell you what city and state I'm in, it, whatever. Okay, and then I'll do another one somewhere else down the road because you might think I'm going one way, and then you say, oh, looks like he's going another way. So it'll be kind of a guessing game what cities and counties I'm going to. And I'm planning to go out there for about 2 days, maybe 2.5 days. I have enough people, and I've tentatively planned in for a full 7 days. And I've told the various auditors it depends on if people make donations. If they don't, that's cool. That's really cool. I'll just do what I have money to do. And that's what you'll get. Nothing more, nothing less. And I hope you'll like it. Everybody that donates $1, $5, $20, $50, that adds up. Each a little bit more money adds another day to my staying there. So that's another day of gas, motels, uh, eating, and driving around wherever we got to go. So I don't only have to drive to where I get, then I got to drive around when I get there. And depending on where that is, I may have to pay for some parking. I don't know. But I'm doing it for you guys. I already know all this stuff. I already understand all of this. I have trained government officials on these things. I have trained citizens on these things. So it's kind of a labor of love. I mean, I'm not trying to be a YouTube rock star. I'm not trying to get my name out there. I did what I did for 40 years. I'm I'm tired and retired. So kind of coming out of retirement and being active, teaching government and the people, it's just something I think I should do, but I can't foot all the bills. I foot a lot of bills. Uh, but, if you're going to share in it, you're going to watch it, you're going to participate. And some people say, oh, you get YouTube money. I do. $14, $13, $8, $40. And so that could take 1, 2, 3, 4 months before I ever get $100 check. So, one tank of gas, depending on where it's got, is $54 to $58 for a tank. And a tank, I think, will get me about 350 miles or something. And just to get over to the Metroplex, that'll take, 2.5 tanks maybe. So say $130 or something like that one way. And that's in the Dallas area. If I go to San Antonio, that's about 900 miles, so that's about 3 full tanks. So we're getting more in the $150 range, I guess. If I go to Houston, that's a little bit less expensive. Uh, how about I stay home and save the gas? How about no? I'm going to go, period. I got money for gas, motel, and food to do what I want to do and bring entertainment and education to you all. You know, so I'm not asking you to donate. I'm giving you an opportunity to donate, and I ain't PayPal Patrick. I ain't on here every day of my life begging for money, and I'm not begging. You know, people sit out and beg for money, they don't do nothing in return. I'm actually going out to labor for the people, to educate the people, and it ain't to put in my pocket, it's just to pay the expenses of the actual trip. And I've got, poof, I got money to get there and back and motels and stuff. It's just if y'all want me to extend it past, maybe a couple of days and make it 3 days, 4 days, 5 days, however much money there is, I'll keep going another day until the money runs down to my own money. And when that money runs out, I got to leave. So if a handful of people get me another $100 and say, wow, okay, that's, I can get me a Motel 6 and gas and a little food to hang in another day, and I'll do it. If it ain't, I'll just go home. And nobody will have given anything. No, I'm not an e-beggar. I absolutely, totally am not. This is something that trolls come up with because they're jealous and they're insecure and they have pretty horrible lives. Or maybe they do got a lot of money, but their life still ain't worth a flip. And so they have to come on here and make nasty comments and be ugly to people. It's just how they are. So if you believe in something or somebody, then you uh huh. Well, you know what's funny? It's funny how people are fickle and how they change and how they'll be so for you. I mean, they're to the wall for you. Absolutely and completely. And you say one thing or do one thing they don't like, and then you're a dirtbag. Just that quick. Or they don't even tell you that you said nothing. They don't even give you the common courtesy of, hey, I was upset with you about this, let's talk about it. They don't even have that much civility and courtesy. You know, but that's life. Uh, yeah. Well, at any rate, I love y'all. God bless you. Do whatever you think and feel in your heart is the right thing to do. And then we'll all be great. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you so very much. God bless you and have a very great day and a very great life.